Hello and welcome to this month's Agile Hive review for Agile Hive Data Center. This is the review for the month of May. As you've noticed, when you entered this call, the review is being recorded. So we are going to put this on YouTube afterwards. So be mindful if you have anything to share about what you share. Yeah, because the video will be publicly available. So just in case you want to share something, just be mindful. The next review is going to take part in about a month's time at the first Tuesday of the next month. That'll be the 2nd of June, 2026. And I've just pinned a comment to the chat here. There you can find the link to the review document that I'm just sharing here. And also, if you don't have access to that document, you might have to request an account for our extranet. So you can reread everything that I say here afterwards. Also, you'll find a link here to the ICS file for this review. So you can add it to your calendar if you haven't already, or share this with colleagues of yours who also want to attend. So let's get to what's actually been implemented in the last 5 weeks. First off, we're starting with 2 improvements. From our support, we heard a lot that we were quite spammy with a log message. It said no sprint found with ID for a sprint reference. And this, in some customers' cases, was, as I said, quite spammy. And we think, or we know, that this is due to orphan sprint references, the entity that connects sprint with an iteration for a PI, and can be caused by deleted sprints. So we do not delete, or previously we did not delete the sprint reference as well when a sprint was deleted. So now we have 2, or with the upcoming release 4.10.3, it's currently in testing, we will release 2 fixes for that. The first is going to be an upgrade task. So when you install this version, we will run an upgrade task that is looking for all sprint references in your system that do not have, or that have a reference to a deleted sprint. And we will also delete the sprint reference for that, so that the algorithm does not stumble upon them again, and will write the log message in the log. And secondly, we are going to listen to the sprint deleted event in the future and remove the sprint reference as well when that happens. The second improvement that I'm going to talk about here is we added another web endpoint to our system performance web point. This one is to clear all the caches for Agile Hive entities. This also comes out of a support situation where we thought that situation would have been resolved when we just clear the caches, and then the system will rebuild them afterwards. And we were just missing an external trigger point for this cache flush as well. But as I said, this is mostly helpful in support situations. So when you encounter something like that, our support will definitely recommend that to you and will guide you through the process of doing that. Because this can only be done by a user with an admin permission in the system. All right. And then with the upcoming release, we also released 2 enabler tasks for the DC2 cloud migration. The first one is we now export child information, or we export the children for parent issues in the CSV file now as well. This was due to a migration blocker that we had with one of our customers. There's also been a fix in the Agile Hive Migration Helper app, but that one has already been deployed. So For the fix to take effect, you will have to install the latest version of Agile Hive Data Center 4.10.3 once it's out. What will this fix do? It will now list the issues that are referenced as a child of one of the issues that's being migrated, when the respective project for the child issue is not in itself part of the migration scope. We do this now so that we can connect the child with the parent when the child project has been migrated before. Yeah. All right. And the second one is for an upcoming feature. It's the export and import into cloud for PIs that we are working on since about a few months now already. And we changed the data format for the export so that it better matches the data format that the cloud app expects to have. But as I said, the actual feature of the PI migration is not yet available in the cloud version. But yeah, this as an enabler step, it's already been implemented in the data center app. So coming on to some bug fixes. In one of the last releases that we had, we fixed an issue with the drop-down for planning interval and teams involved fields in the issue detail view in Jira 11.3, especially 11.3.4, I think, where the drop-down wouldn't show any PIs or teams involved to select. We now found out that this is also the case in the JQL search. I've attached a screenshot here. When you search for issues, you can do that via entering a JQL string yourself, but you can also do the basic version and select the fields via dropdowns that you want to include in your query. And there, when you added the planning interval and the teams involved custom fields, this dropdown or these dropdowns were also involved and were also affected and would not show any data. So yeah, we added this fix to the 4.10.3 version now as well for Jira 11. Yeah, and for Jira 9, we also had a little bug. When you opened a team report, the team report would display all the sprints from the other teams in the art as well. As you can see here, we have sprint 1 for the BHM team. We also have sprint 1 for BHW, BHP, BHR, and so on and so on. But they wouldn't show any issues because the filter would still filter all issues for the BHM project, so they would be empty anyway. But yeah, this could lead to a very large view because, yeah, depending on how many teams you had, this would, add sprints times the number of teams times the number of iterations that you had. This only affected the Jira 9 version, so that's why we opted for the 4.10.3 version instead of 4.11, because in the previous review, I announced that we are not going to have any new releases for Jira 9 version. So obviously this release had to happen for Jira 9, and so that's why we opted for this year. But with that, this issue should be fixed. And then we had another bug with the team breakout board, and the board itself did not load when one of the external dependencies, or also a dependent issue from a shared service team, would not, or we would not be able to determine an end date for that issue, because there would be conflicting end date informations with either a due date or sprint. And that led to the board in itself not being loaded. If we encounter this issue now, we will just log it and skip the issue for the display on the board. All right. Are there any questions so far? Thomas, who are talking? Going to open the chat if there are any questions in the chat. No, I don't see any questions in the chat. Then I'm just going to repeat the announcement from the last review. And as I just said, when we release a 4.11, so that would be the next release after the 4.10.3, fingers crossed, there won't be a dedicated version for Jira 9 anymore. And we will focus on Jira 10 and Jira 11 and the upcoming Jira 12 in the future. So if you are still on Jira 9, please update if you can, because I think Atlassian has already also dropped most of its support for Jira 9 in the past. Yeah, and I think this concludes the review for today. In case you have any questions, now's again the time to raise your hand or raise your voice or type something in the chat. All right. As I said, this video will be posted on YouTube later, and you can rewatch the review. If you want to see what's happening with Agile Hive Cloud, you can just stay in this meet, because at 15:30, we will start the review for Agile Hive Cloud. And yeah, we'll hope to see you there, if you're there. If not, I wish you a great rest of the day, and we'll see each other again, hopefully, on the 2nd of June, because then's the next review due. Have a great day. Bye.